Last time on Dice Fall and Everyone Dies.
Why are we here?
I think someone's dead or dying.
Who?
The book owner, or bookstore owner.
Why?
Because Calmont was a skeevy little jerk and might have killed her.
I don't think I've ever heard of a halfling killing their owner. If she's dead, she's dead.
Yeah, but I can get information from the dead.
Awkward silence.
I mean, can't you?
You have a bit of an issue, though. As soon as you open the door, a trap triggers. So...
Should have had the bard check it. Tafaxi.
I'm really mad right now, Steno.
Perhaps you should wait for the bard to go first to check for more traps?
Yes.
Calmont has been delivered to the jail. He is...
less than sane.
Well, we're just glad he didn't bleed out. Welcome back. Chris Nether, your GM here, and before we get started on this week's episode, I want to talk a little bit about another mode of Pathfinder play called Exploration Mode. We've talked about downtime before, and you've heard some examples of our group in combat. And I think we should talk about combat more in depth, but a little bit more in the future. Exploration Mode, though, is the median of play between combat and downtime. It's a mode of play where every second is not necessarily life-threatening, but there is a significant amount of uncertainty for the life and health of characters. And many games spend much of their time in exploration mode, especially if there's minimal focus on combat encounters, and you can do activities like investigation, burglary, tracking, and a lot of non-combat skill checks tend to fall in exploration mode play. GMs often use this mode of play to describe rooms, present environmental conditions, or drop foreshadowing for upcoming encounters. Players have a great deal of agency in exploration mode, which allows them to interact with the world and to challenge the game master with their own creativity. Flexibility and mood setting help make the exploration mode fun and engaging for both sides of the GM screen. And some of the most memorable moments of games come from exploration mode as players pick up on the unlikely environmental cues and then creatively work them into different moments of combat. Or the dramatic spells of your party sorcerer do more than just damage to the enemies, and suddenly, maybe the environment's on fire. What will the party do now? See, one of the challenges when you're running your exploration mode is to not let the pace drop out from under your players. Because exploration is more than just a loose binding between combat encounters. And if you use it as such, players will pick up on this, and the gameplay will feel samey and predictable, thus allowing the tension to drop. GMs can also be tempted into running sessions where exploration is so dominant that combat just never happens. Things like mystery investigations, courtly intrigue, heist-style games can fall prey to the overuse of exploration. And we should take some additional time to talk more about those as well, but the general concern is that timing and pace for those styles of game require a lot more nuance and preparation by the GM, plus the tacit agreement from the party to make them fun. If a member of the party is not on board with one of those styles of game, it can quickly devolve into just a slog. For you see, the GM is responsible not for just guiding the story, but making sure that the party will have fun on the journey. So if your wizard's more interested in maxing out their downtime crafting, or your barbarian only wants to swing the greatsword, the GM has to help facilitate the motivation for both players. It would be really fun for Barnaby of the Pointy Hat and Crushore the Orc Slayer to put on the high society attire and mingle with the bard and the sorcerer at the winter soiree held by the Queen Regent. That scenario can be really fun, and players making a mess of it could be absolutely epic. But part of what helps make it epic is the threat of conflict. Pathfinder and D&D represent moral conflict with combat modes, broken out into rounds. And so if Crusher's player has their head down on the table and Barnaby's player has his nose deep into the core rulebook, the GM has to find some different type of balance to satisfy the whole table. So because transitions are hard and I'm an evil GM, if you enjoy the podcast, please take a moment to leave a rating and comment using your app of choice. If your listening app doesn't happen to have that function, you can head on over to our Podchaser page and leave a rating and comment there. On the amazing chance you adore Taffy, Bread, Demos, and Steno, please share the podcast with your friends. Ratings, comments, and shares dramatically help the podcast grow. Like, dramatically. So without further ado, we catch back up to our party outside Castle Alterain as they consider if they should delve deeper into the structure without Bread's assistance. What shall they decide?
Do we want to go in, or do we
but I
want
do
to
want to
look
look
over
over the book that I took.
the stuff from Vaz?
That I took from Vaz's nightstand.
Okay. So let's get to that material.
I guess since you're cooking food and any stuff anyway, I might as well.
But Steno is going to go over to Warble and Helba, just to kind of do a thing where she's like, there's something unusual going on. You may be at the campsite a little bit longer than we thought.
Well, with Warble's help, we can do quite a bit. She was always highly capable. She's showing so much that she's learned now. Oh, Helba, just gotta take care of my bramble bashers. And they kind of have this, like, chummy look between themselves. We'll be fine.
How can something with no lips be so adorable?
They have a lot of practice. So you're checking over the notes in the book that you picked up from Vaz's personal quarters.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're finding a sequence of research that is really kind of countermanding a chunk of the town's backstory. You see what you would say almost kind of a gloating and gleeful kind of dark commentary in the sides, in the margins. Stuff like, ha! Rich idiot humans trusting an upstart lying wizard. And then other parts as you get through checking it out is just like, the fools put up a statue of that duplicitous charlatan. Hilarious. Like, you can even see, like, the emphasis on the L in the hilarious. And it's just kind of going through and just outlining different parts.
Is this all in the female handwriting?
Yes. The book itself is in a different type of script. But
Vaz
all of the notes...
Vaz is a half-elf. Okay.
Yeah, she's... It's definitely a very refined type of script that's there.
Now, did she write this in...
So what you're reading are the, like, margin notes.
Right, but is the book written in Ascari?
This kind of tome is actually written in standard, more official Taldor. So kind of high Taldor, noble Taldor. But so with an understanding of common, you can definitely read it well.
Okay.
So, but it looks like the core of the book goes into Breach Hill's basic history of when it was founded, that the original inhabitants actually all had amnesia, and in their amnesia they were about to approach winter of their first year and looked at serious total annihilation out in the mountains. When a wizard pops his head in, wizard pops in, begins organizing them, and they're able to make it through that first winter. And a big part of that was just a major kind of outpouring and a story of like coming together associated with it. A lot of positive words towards Breachton, the Laemon Breachton, the name of the wizard. Most of the book doesn't really give much in the way of the origin of where the wizard came from. It's a lot of the material is very much from the moment that they survived going forward. It does include a description of Breachton in there, though, that he had distinctive golden colored eyes and a voice rich like that of an angel and flowing white hair that reached past the magnificent robes. It starts talking very glowingly in the text. Now, but when you start getting to like those parts of the commentary, you start getting into where it starts pointing out inconsistencies in the story that if they had all had amnesia, it couldn't have been that way. And it starts pulling that this glowing perception of the wizard has to be absolute idiocy, and that the wizard had to have been manipulating the whole town. And a lot of gleeful commentary. Even a couple names shouted out from around town of stories that might have been. It's like, this is how you know this story of this one is wrong, because this one's right here. Stupid idiot.
Are you sharing this with us?
Right now she's just reading, but she does pipe up a few times about like the amnesia and like reading aloud some of the notes that she finds kind of funny.
We should get Warble to look over this, because she's on the council.
Warble's at the service of the council, yes.
Okay. Wait, is she not a council member?
No, she's more of a civil servant.
Why isn't she a council member?
They haven't elected her yet.
Well, isn't
was
that
Voss
interesting?
one of the council members?
Voss was not a council member now.
Stano is going to take a moment to look over the notes that she grabbed. The one that included the note about Alcetta's ring and the Guardian's Way.
So as you're getting into that one, looks like it was something that you would like on standard loose leaf. It was kind of partially scribbled on there, and it looks like that might have been something that got transferred into commentary that Taffy is reading, but it doesn't have anything else revealing on it, other than it's definitely in a similar hand as the notes that are in the margins of the book that Taffy's going through.
And she's going to look at the town ledger, too. Not the town ledger, the store ledger.
So the primary aspect of the store ledger looks like notes of title, person, fairly mundane things like histories, a couple different trysts, nothing particularly magic. And then you see a line where there was the magic scroll coming in, and then after the scroll came in, suddenly there was an inventory done, and then that's when the scroll was discovered missing, and that was dated about 2 days before each of you arrived in town.
Stano's going to go over to Warble and be like, Warble, what do you know about Vaz?
Oh, well, Vaz is the bookseller, and she's always a bit unpleasant, a bit snooty, always has her nose up, which makes it very hard to look her in the eyes whenever we're trying to have a conversation, but that's rare in and of itself. Vaz normally sticks to herself. Her and the librarian seem to have a very unpleasant relationship with each other. I think she said rude things to him.
About what?
I don't know. I'm normally trying to do everything I can around the council's chambers. So all I know is he came in a huff one day and he had to talk to Greta, and Greta seemed to have soothed them over for that point in time, but it's very hard to make him mad. He's always normally in such a good mood. He's surrounded by books all day, and that's just something he loves. He always likes getting in and categorizing and organizing. I have no idea what Vaz would have said to him.
Organization is wonderful.
I think he's even using this thing he calls a card catalog. It's great. Helps him make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be.
Wait, so that's one of the other book vendors?
Oh, he's, I believe oh goodness, his name is escaping me at the moment. I think it was Jorel, yes. Jorel Blacktusk. He's it's not quite, I think it's better to say he's an archivist. He handles all of the official town records. He's always pleasant when I go talk to him and have to take him material. But no, that's about my general interaction with Vaz. I don't know how many friends she has. I hope she's not lonely.
She might be dead. And she's gonna get up and go over to Taffy.
Oh my.
We should check in with this archivist.
Should we go back? Do you think it's a better idea to go and check in with the archivist first? I mean, it was pretty quick to get here now that we've got the horses.
Yeah, I don't super want to go in a castle altar, especially without Breddy.
Yeah.
How many hit point? Taffy is down hit points significantly. Okay.
So, where's Brett, by the way? Shouldn't he have been with you as well?
He's
taking the day off.
Oh my.
He wouldn't get out of his room.
He's loafing around.
Like a bunch of soggy toast.
Oh. Y'all brought some bread too. We can make eggies and toast.
My heart.
You know, that sounds delicious. But not right now, maybe later.
We're going to head back into town.
Okay. So, when y'all head in, are y'all going to be heading towards the archivist?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now that we know that the Bramble Bashers are okay for a little bit. It's almost a wasted trip, but we got a lot more knowledge than we...
I wanted to see the goblins.
I know you did. Steno is like the, like, classic... Not Jan. Well...
Say it.
Say it, Taffy, you know the term.
Reveal your inner weeb.
Nope.
You refuse.
Say it with us. Is she a...
Tsundere.
No.
Is she a
the-
Yandere?
No.
Oh.
Because the soon implies... Here, I'm revealing my weeb. The soon implies that you can tell that she's kind of rough exterior, soft interior. She does nice things for you, but then she's like, no. And the yawn implies that you can't tell she's bananas. The thing about Stato is she's not bananas. It's very carefully controlled violence. I have played a lot of Doki Doki Literature Club.
So is there a term for cold to everyone but...
Asshole?
I mean, fair enough.
Squishy interior.
So, as
I dare you call Steno that, or say that to Steno directly.
Demos is looking off to the side, and as y'all are pulling up on your mounts to the Breach Hill Archives, you just hear him say, squeaky exterior.
What?
What?
He said squishy, thank you.
Yeah, but that's not what we heard.
What?
Nothing.
Do you have something to share?
No.
No.
I will drown the both of you in the creek,
You won't.
and no one will miss either one of you.
Taffy was picking fun at Demos, not.
So as y'all pull to the archives, the facility itself is of a similar architecture as each of the other buildings around it. You can tell it's probably made about the same time as a lot of the buildings at this point. When you go inside, it's a little musty, but you see that it's a fairly sprawling facility. You know, it's just across a fence from the town hall itself, so it's also very close to y'all's accommodations as well. And you're able to find Jorel Blacktusk busying himself amongst the stacks. You see that he's happily kind of helping folks out, and he sees y'all. He comes over. He's like, "Pleasure to have you in the archives. What can I do for you?"
That's the voice.
That's horrifying.
I'm gonna look at all the books.
I know what I know, but did the two of you know that he's a half orc?
So
Well, now we
again,
know.
the half orc comes forward, kind of broad shouldered, on the taller side, square jaw, little tusks coming up.
Taffy's in love. Just kidding.
Anything I can help you find? We keep all the best records in town here.
Can I look through all of them?
Well, that's going to take a little bit of time, but if I can recommend, I go ahead and start with our colorful town history. Here at Breach Hill, it is a unique wonder to behold. A true story of people coming together, making the best out of a rough situation.
Taffy, while you're looking at that, can I get the book that we have?
Yes.
Stan was gonna go ahead and take that from her. We actually
Can I
had a
have
few
it back?
questions. Yes, you can have it back.
Okay.
I actually had a few questions for you directly.
Oh, yes, what can I help you with?
We recently came in and we had to accost Calmont.
Oh, dirty business that, especially burning up the town hall itself. There's plenty of records that we have on loan there. I'm glad most of them survived.
Well, in checking on that, we discovered that his boss, Vaz, is missing.
Her, yes.
What is your experience with Vaz?
Vaz is, let's say she's very opinionated, and she is exceedingly willing to speak her mind on subjects which she may be woefully misinformed on. But she's professional, yes.
Misinformed?
Yes, she has these conspiratorial ideas about what the founding of the town is like. And despite all of the archived evidence that I can show that tracks where things happened, who they happened with, and what was going on, she spins these yarns of conspiracy theories
Like
associated
this?
with it.
She's gonna slap the book down and flip it open.
Yes, like that. In fact, this is He starts kind of looking through it, and as you see him read and go through the notes, just various shades of surprised, disgust, vulgarity popping, the brow furrowing, unfurrowing, eyes widening, going through. So a couple points is just shaking his head. There was one moment where he just takes it and he just slams his fist down right there next to the book. Unmitigated horse shit. She thinks herself a scholar. She's barely, well, I guess she is an accomplished mage. That's beside the point.
Thaz is a mage?
Yeah, she runs a magical bookshop.
You don't have to necessarily know magic to do that.
True, but whenever we need a scroll of mending, we go to her. Unfortunately.
Have you heard from her recently?
Not for the last several days, at least. I think she's been busying herself on taking care of her business. It's fine. She's on the wrong side of the river as far as I'm concerned.
She's gonna give him a not friendly, but like an understanding pat on the shoulder.
See, I think you get it. You see, we have so many folks coming in. They're needing records to make sure they're going to sell one of their places, or they're wanting to make sure they have updated records about, what we're going to teach in history this next semester. It's all of these things are very important, but it's so many people interacting at the same time. And you got to make sure that you get everything back into its place when it's done so you can find it again the next time. It's very hard to get that. I can see that you understand me in this.
Of course. Card catalogs are the latest rage in Agorian.
They're just so useful.
Speaking of which, Taffy is searching through card catalogs to look for anything on Breach Hill history.
There are volumes. In fact, you get to the B's and there's a subcategory of Breach Hill in there.
She's looking for early tomes.
The earliest tome is actually the one that y'all presently have is for the general kind of almanac type of material, so broad general scope. Majority of the records are going to be in not ones that you would actually have in bound books, but in saved manuscripts and post-bound manuscripts. But they are there, and with the archivist's permission, you'll be able to view them.
I would like to...
Okay, how much time would you like to take towards it?
Well, I've got to rest a little bit to heal up, so at least a couple hours.
Okay, so we'll turn that into a check. Demos.
Yeah.
While the nerds are nerding, what are you doing? Okay, we have one investigating and one nerding.
Thank you.
Accompanying your investigation, Stano's investigations, because he doesn't know what else to do with himself at the moment.
Stano is so into this card catalog and how organized everything is, she's almost half flirting with the library in her own way.
So he is more than willing to go ahead and show you where he wrote down the part for the idea, where it got planned out, how it works, how it's being maintained and updated. And as you're going through, he's telling about each part, and you see that he may be doing one thing in one hand, but another hand is bringing something in, making one hand hold it, and then another is putting it away, reaching up to put something away. The entire time y'all are going through, and he's organizing as he is walking around the entire time. And that gives Taffy an opportunity to take a look at the deeper archives. So give me a perception check.
You want to turn something in for that?
Yeah.
Buttons of knowledge. Oh, knowledgeable buttons.
That is a 17.
So with a 17, you can see that there's the source documentation kind of put at the end of your first book. You go check and you see that a lot of these sources were pulled very specifically from these archives. All of those still are there. Different things like personal letters. Is there anything that you're looking for in particular?
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the personal letters.
Okie doke. And what kind of content are you looking for?
Specifically around the amnesia spell or amnesia that the town suffered. Because that to Taffy reeks of spell work or spell mishap.
So from what you can tell, the first generation or so doesn't go too much into the if there was any investigation on magic or what was going on. A lot of that was information and...
Wait a minute. Is this post Earthfall?
Yes.
Like by a lot or by a little?
The town's only 170 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, they're older records, yellowing parchment, letters. All of it's pretty much focused on survival, day-to-day, bonds with loved ones.
Anything about the Wizard Breach Hill? Or Wizard?
Breachton. A few physical descriptions, a lot of thank yous, different projects that they had to go do, a lot of information towards him being highly organized, very useful, when necessary using magic, but really teaching and helping the citizens or the new citizens of the forming town. Kind of describing a little bit of like how Warble was acting with the Bramble Bashers.
Love those Bramble Bashers.
What else would you like to research?
I'm gonna switch up the search.
Okay.
And go to Norgberger.
Okay.
See if the archive has anything.
You do not find any text related to Norgorber. You would have a hard time finding anything in Absalom related to Norgorber.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna look up Osetta's ring as well while I'm here.
So you try to find references to Alcetta's ring. You do not find anything referencing a ring or Alcetta, or a combination of those. You probably have you're pretty efficient at running through tomes and books and doing quick speed reads. You might be able to look up one more subject, and then you'll need to bed down and rest for the night.
Could look up the Guardian's Way.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up Guardian's Way.
So you find a few records on Guardian's Way being initially set up, a few mentions of trade being established towards the area, mostly that it is was a military outpost, and it served as a point of communication organization for this area during the Goblin Blood Wars themselves. But since the Iscari army has been pulling back, it is one of the abandoned military bases where they had to basically fully pull back to get and cover the river area. And it's been that way for several years. So, is there anything else that Demos or Steno would like to do in town before y'all take rest one more time?
Yes. Steno's gonna pop by the town hall and I guess sort of confess that they broke into Vaz's house.
Okay.
She is lawful evil.
Okay.
So she just kind of have to be like, this is a thing that we did.
All right. Who are you going to go talk to?
I am not.
You are researching.
Greta.
All right. So you're one to set up a
Meeting with Greta.
So it takes a little bit of time.
She's gonna take the book back from Jorl.
Okay.
Give it back to me.
No, she's gonna show it to Greta.
Okay.
People
So-
need to know. Like, this is less she may have been murdered and more of it seems there's something fishy going on.
So you get the audience with Greta. You and Demos are kind of in her office, kind of like a standard politician's office. You have a nice centerpiece behind her and the desk in front. Not a grand, showy Cheliax style of office where you would be seeing all of the different types of trophies, and the wood would be the equivalent of purple heart or mahogany, or maybe be mahogany inlaid with purple heart. But
Cheliax is fancy.
Yes.
But it is definitely a modest, if rustic, official's office. Steno's not impressed at all.
No, but she recognizes, like, authority within the town. She knows this is the person about the town.
And so, you're sat down with Greta, and Greta's, so what was the matter that you wanted to discuss with me?
To be fair, and to start this meeting out on a specifically honest note, we broke into Vaz's bookshop. We were concerned
my.
about her.
Concerned? Concerned why?
Calmont had been brought in, and nobody had heard from Vaz. She hadn't opened for 3 days.
Oh, I see. She always has been peculiar. Well then, though I don't condone your methods, did you find something of concern?
She was not in her home, but we did find this, and she's gonna set the book down and flip it open, kind of like she did with Jorl.
Looks like somebody left the shop very quickly, too.
I see. Oh my, these practically raving. Well, I didn't need to know that she knew that about them, but, she's flipping through
From
the
what it
notes.
seems, I don't believe Calmont was working on his own. And I
Oh.
think there's something a lot more than the fire that happened.
What do you think occurred?
I'm not sure yet.
Well, luckily, Calmont is, well,
Raving.
the worse for wear. He is here, so he's not a danger to Voss, but it does seem that she may have played an additional role here. If she's absconded off herself, especially with these heresies written down here, that seems a bit... You're right.
Is there any truth to
Suspicious.
what she's writing?
Oh, of course not. Just because they think they're smart doesn't mean that everything they write down is appropriate. You do have to remember, looks do not translate.
I know.
You-
I'm trying to
You
think
have,
of
you
how
have to describe
I'm
the
trying
thing
to
that
think
you're
of how
trying
to
to convey.
word the. Stato is gonna set her hand down. She's like, Greta, I am from Cheliax. I understand, and she's gonna kind of look sideways at Deimos. I understand that not all of town history is often something you want to keep down.
Give me a diplomacy.
But if there is something going on that is related to this, we need to know.
How bad is it?
It's a 3.
You have-
Hang on.
Are you giving a button to Medvic?
Yes, I'm gonna feed the button goblin.
Yes, give me my buttons, Stano. You know how much I want the buttons.
Yeah, give my best to Sedvik.
Yes, excellent. You will see Zedvik down in Orsirion later, and it'll be great.
Yeah, it's better. It is a 16.
16.
Yes.
I do agree that many in our town have a tendency to over-glorify our town's founder. It's a very good story. Her commentary on the parts of the inconsistencies is true. It's just whether or not Breachton had the best of intentions when helping out our people, he did. That is indisputable. The vitriol that comes with this seems ill-warranted. But as far as it comes to some of these other markings in here, we're not as well associated with elfin culture.
That's fair. When we spoke with Calmont, he mentioned something about Norgrimmar.
What
I
would-
find it hard to believe that a town that doesn't even have an outpost for Asmodeus, despite being this close to Cheliax, would have anything to do with Norgrimmar. Am I saying his name?
I pronounce it Norgorber.
Whatever. Norberger.
Shots fired on the Asmodeus thing.
I mean, they're this close to Cheliax. It would make sense to have at least, like, a tiny little podium for the dude. He's kind of like the god of Cheliax.
We try not to set up too many ties with the faiths in the area just because it's very difficult to pay proper homage that's there.
Understandable.
We've also not yet attracted the eye of the Sisters of the Aryans, who would be setting up any of the orphanages. They focus most of their efforts to the south of us, where a lot were devastated by the Goblin Blood Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if anyone who might be a follower of Asmodeus in town. No one's ever actually asked to set up a temple. It's not like we would stop it. But if you need a particular place to be able to say your prayers, I think we should be able to find some sort of accommodation.
It just struck me as something unusual that he'd mention it.
But Norgorber, that cult? No, that would definitely be quite strange.
Oh wait,
Yes, Taffy's over researching,
probably just as well.
asking questions that get Steno in trouble.
Does Deimos have anything to say? Or is he just sitting in the back looking handsome?
Oh, definitely.
Demos finds a quill and begins spinning the quill in his hand, and you just seeing if you can get it to like lift off a little bit as you spin
God.
it around. Just, you don't have the equivalent of a fidget spinner, so you're just using the next closest thing you could have grabbed from the desk.
Just fidgeting around.
Yes.
It's like this conversation is boring.
This conversation is fascinating.
Bored.
So we'll keep an eye out for Vaz. We'll send some of our guards around town to begin asking.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you would like to do while you're in City Hall? Or would y'all like to go ahead and rest and get ready for the next
Should probably rest. Probably meet up with Taffy to get dinner. Which I'm assuming is more boar and lentil soup.
It is boar and cabbage soup today.
Oh, damn.
Oh, how does that
Where
smell?
are they getting all of these boars?
Hunting. So
I
much
mean, there's
hunting.
a huge forest right there.
That's fair. It's still
It's also
very
probably just
ominous.
the one boar. Boars are huge.
Also fair.
So the did you want to use any of your soothe ability on Taffy before the end of the day?
Yes, I will definitely use a soothe for Taffy.
Pap her on the forehead and soothe her.
Soothe it.
Part of me imagine it's Demos just kind of like traces along Taffy's jaw a little bit. It's just like, feel better.
No, that's a little weird.
Afterwards, Taffy goes over. No, I need.
So
You are an adult.
1d10 plus 4. Where's my 10?
Jules, I'm looking right at your tens.
I forget what the 10s look
That's the
like.
one, yeah.
This one. I'm looking, I'm like, I can't remember what a 10 looks like. So 5.
So you go up 5 additional hit points. So that should put you at 12.
Yeah.
Hopefully sleeping will help the rest
Yeah,
of
and
the
it's
day.
gonna be a long rest, so.
Yep. So you should be able to get your Constitution plus your level back.
So 3. So that puts me at 15.
Did you want to buy any other healing at the Temple of Desna? That will cost some gold, though.
No.
Okay.
Instead of having dinner in the common area, Stato is going to wait for Taffy to get back, and then she's basically going to have the three of them go up to her room
Mm-hmm.
and basically order to have dinner delivered up there.
Okay.
Room service.
So y'all are able to get y'all's meals and a little bit of a crusty bread, just as a reminder that
A crusty bread? Oh, he's not here.
But y'all are able to get the material brought up to your rooms.
Just so that we can kind of share everything that's happened. So we're going to tell Taffy what happened with Greta.
And Taffy's gonna tell what she found at the archives.
And as Stano promised, she's going to give Taffy back the book.
Taffy immediately shoves it in her pack. She's a hoarder of knowledge.
And obviously Deimos is going to give her the soothe spell.
Yes. Soothe.
All right. Did y'all want to do anything else before y'all bed down?
No.
Exit.
I'm gonna cast alarm on my door all the way down the hall to along the wall that connects our rooms, so that if anything, and all the way, essentially trying to cast it in such a way that both rooms are protected.
Okay. And how are you going to word it? So you're using the spell, but is there going to be any particular trigger, or?
Anybody who isn't the four of us, so Bread's included in the way the spell is set up. Oh well, anybody but the four of us and the owner of the tavern
Tries to get into our rooms.
tries to get into our rooms just for the night.
Okay. So you ward an alarm. You don't get any hits. You don't have to worry about waking up the night. Nothing interrupts your rest.
Cool. And can we assume that that's a thing she does every time they bed down?
Sure.
So the morning comes. How many more sets of clothes does Taffy have? Because I think you're on 3 right now.
Well, my robes should almost be done with Crafter at this point, right?
Maybe you could go swing by and double check them. It has just been a day.
Been 2. So
Well,
point to them.
you're all at your
a
second
full
night,
day.
but it's been
How
only
long
one full
did
day.
he say? About a week?
Yeah.
Oh, then nah, she's not gonna do that. She does have one last set of robes. Oh, sorry, baby. Sorry. But she is going to go down to the innkeeper before actually, yeah.
How
See-
early is this?
It's pretty early.
Taffy is a bit of an early riser.
And see if there's anywhere she can get blood stains and such washed out of robes.
Yeah, there's a spot where washing can be done.
Professionally done, so that she can get it fixed and whatnot.
Like a dry cleaner?
Kind of.
Well, probably the best people for that would probably be our haberdashery. They can't fix it. No one could. If you want, we can run it over there with your issue. They'll probably come back requesting some coin, but if you've set up an account with them, as you say, it should be fine.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Excellent. We'll take care of that for you.
Okay.
I think my little sister probably has something that could fit you. Do you need a different set of traveling clothes?
Are they cute?
I think so. She looks adorable in them. Well, she did. Then she grew up.
Is she ugly now?
Well, now she doesn't wear
I'd
them.
like to see them, yeah.
So she kind of does a quick bow and she goes and runs and grabs them. Comes out, and from what you can tell, they are a combination of kind of light tans, beiges, and then some very dull reds. Very provincial.
There's something to wear for now.
Like if you imagine, so think of like Belle's clothing from Beauty and the Beast, but instead of blue, it was a light tan with some really dark reds.
Okay, that would be okay. That's kind of cute. Okay.
It's not that it looks terrible, it is just...
It's muted colors that she
Yes.
doesn't necessarily like. Okay. How... I might, may I purchase these from you?
Oh, sweetie, just... Well, I mean, you can... I suppose you could. I mean, it'd only be a couple coppers, but...
She hands her a full silver.
Oh. Excellent. She just kind of...
I take the
It's
ropes.
kind of like an unexpected, like, boon here. It's like, she was essentially asking for $5 and you gave her 100.
She's gonna take the robe, or the outfit upstairs and go get changed so she doesn't ruin any of her brightly colored stuff.
Okay.
Because she's running into an issue where she's running out of bright, pretty things.
I know, you keep bleeding on things first.
It's
Bro,
2
you gotta
robes
check on that.
in like 3 days.
So, when y'all finally emerge, Taffy is in a totally different color palette now.
Are you ill?
No, I'm just being
Dana.
more
What?
provincial.
That's so mean. She bled over her other clothing. She's not
Pulls
ill.
her
She's just
robe
boring
or
right
hood
now.
up
It was the
and
briefest moment where I was like, oh, that's a perfect place to make a period joke. Then I was like, no. Maybe not this time.
she pulls her cloak around herself a little more tightly and kind of looks a little embarrassed, but
Stano's going to pat her on the head and then go and order breakfast.
I think
probably older than both of you. Muttering to herself.
I think it's cute, Taffy.
Thank you.
So y'all are able to prepare yourselves and be able to head out. Do y'all want to go ahead and head back up to the Bramble Bashers? Bread is still presently unavailable.
She's gonna pound on his fucking door.
He's
All right,
just-
so you're going to give me a strength check.
Not to like punch it down.
Yeah, but you might accidentally.
Oh no.
Well, because you have to remember, it's not just bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang.
I almost nat 20
Bang,
on that.
bang, bang, bang.
It like nat 20'd on my journal and then fell over and it's like, it's an 11. Like, oh, okay, thank God. So strength check, that'd be a 15.
The poor...
It's like the open up, this is the police kind of banging.
The proprietor comes up. What's going on?
He has been out of his room in a day and a half.
Oh,
He hasn't been here today, and I bet.
well then,
Probably sleeping
I'm
on
just
a
trying to
bench.
wake him up.
let me try one thing. Room service? Knock, knock, knock. We should probably check on him. She takes the key out,
Now I
unlocks
feel
it,
bad for scaring the owner.
opens it up, and you find that the bed looks like it has been slept on. And it looks like if he had his things, they've all been gathered up, and no sign of him.
Well,
But you look, it doesn't look like he would have left through the door. It looks like he might have gone down through the window.
What a little... So ridiculous.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure we'll see him again.
come on. Let's head back up. We have the castle to empty.
So y'all...
And then you and I will fight to the death over who gets to own it.
Oh, I'll win.
Confidence.
Lots of it.
Okay, you two.
So y'all make it back up. The Bramble Bashers, still, they see and wave you. You see Warble take a look, and her smile is a little muted. She's like, and as y'all come up, oh, we thought you were going to have y'all with dinner.
Sorry. We did a lot of research.
That's okay.
Do you have
Couple more-
leftovers?
Well, there are quite a bit of us. We actually have a little bit of leftover breakfast, though. Goblin mash!
What is
What's in a goblin
mash?
mash?
Well, it's
scared.
it's whatever was there for the leftover vegetables, and then we add quite a bit of pickle juice that we were able to go ahead and find in some of our hidden pickle stores in the trees. And then with that, it gave a little bit of this briny taste to it, and it works quite well as a base before we start doing other things.
Pause. Your pickles are in the trees.
Well, when you don't have them in barrels, because all the barrels are they're down where we were living, where the cinder claws took over. But after that, you have your backup ones in the trees, and you just have it in there. You have a tree. Looks like it's fairly nice and healthy, and you just make sure it is relatively watertight, and then you go in and fill it up with the vinegar, and you put all your cucumbers in, and though you lose the tree, you gain a barrel of pickles.
That sounds wonderful.
That sounds very dirty.
Well, you make do with what you can.
Are you judging them for their
the-
pickles?
The pickles are
have some.
inside a tree, Stano.
Have you never had an apple?
Yeah, but you clean off an apple.
She's going to very pointedly turn away from Deimos and accept some of the compliment mash.
Like, he'll eat it, but he's concerned about the safety of these pickles.
Roll a Constitution save.
That sounds like a marvelous idea. Steno, roll a Constitution save.
I will!
I had some too.
I did too.
Would that be
Went, well,
fortitude?
screw it.
No, it's
Yes. We'll go for it.
straight Constitution, I thought.
That's more fighty.
Oh,
I got 16.
22.
tilted.
You are fine.
You eat it, and you realize that you have tried stranger things than Agorian.
Of course I have.
It could use a little bit of salt, but otherwise, an unusual adventure in culinary technique.
11.
And what was Demos's?
16.
Demos, you're like, haven't had anything like this since that bar back at the edge of Andoran.
Does it taste like
Okay.
regret?
A little.
And
But it
Taffy
was
tastes
food.
full regret and now has an understanding of what the epitome of pickled regret is like.
This was delicious.
I used to like pickle.
Just like, okay, that was a thing I stuck in my body.
Steno says that they were delicious.
We need to head to the castle to start clearing it out.
Yes.
Helba, are you ready?
Are y'all going to do the ground floor, or are y'all going to go down to where the Bramble Bashers were?
Probably be
'Cause
better to...
The original plan was to
Ground
floor.
floor.
We could
first.
start and go boop or...
I think it's
I
better
prefer
do
to clear
ground.
out where they were so they have their space back.
That's full of cultists.
Oh.
Right, that's the basement.
Okay, so ground floor first.
Clear that out, then go to the basement.
We'll go in the standard entrance and we'll clear that out and then we'll move towards the basement.
Okay, so for the ground floor, Helba would be resistant to running around with you.
Understandably.
So y'all want to head in through the
Let's just go in through the main door. Fuck
The
it.
front door.
front door of Castle Alterain.
Stato's gonna kick it in.
Shut the front door.
No, she's opening the front
Yeah.
door.
Open
I
the
know,
front door,
I know.
Taffy.
Open it up. Close it.
I don't know how gnomes open their doors, but
We have ways. Lots
That
of
is
ways.
incredibly ominous.
I'm an adorable little gnome. How is that ominous?
You have ways of opening doors. What?
We
You're-
open them?
you're a very ominous gnome. You're
Aw.
ominous.
Ominous.
Nominous.
Nominous. Okay. Ha 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 ha.
So as you approach, the battered and reinforced doors hang ajar at this main entrance to Citadel Alterain. Once, it was the headquarters of the Hell Knight Order of the Nail, and above the doorframe you see a tarnished seal depicting a sunburst, made of nails that stand out in relief on the keep's stonework, and under the seal runs a worn but clear line of carved text. Who speaks Infernal?
I speak Infernal.
So,
You speak
Steno.
Infernal?
Wait, no. Nope.
So, Steno, you read, "Savagery must be quelled in the land, home, and mind," written across.
Do you read that out loud to us?
Yes. But I read it out loud in Infernal.
What the hell?
Stop doing that, please.
What?
Taffy
Scary.
is like legitimately a little shaken.
It
And then-
probably means nothing in particular horrifying, but like the language is scary.
And Stato translates it for them into common.
Yeah, that sounds Chilaxian.
Do you have something to say about Cheliax?
No, I'm just saying it sounds
Shall we
like...
have this conversation again?
No,
I know we had it several times on the barge.
I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it does sound a lot like your home country.
Mm-hmm.
If you find it a positive phrase, what does it matter?
So how would y'all like to deal with the door? Going with Stanos' original option to kick it in?
Is it still open?
It's a
It is
jar.
partially ajar.
Just open it.
I'm gonna push it open. Or
Just
pull
push it open? So as you open the door, it rustily creaks. And that's where we'll end it. No, we're not going to do it again this time. Not on the creak. So the door itself does creakily open up. Just this squeal that's there. And you see 3 goblin dogs, giant rat-like creatures, all turn their heads and begin growling at you.
Stano's gonna growl back.
Oh, how cute!
What would y'all like to do? You have an action before this can turn into initiative.
She is gonna draw her sword.
What?
Okay,
They're goblin dogs, right?
right.
Yeah, I'm pulling my rapier.
So goblin dogs are they call them dogs, but they're basically mostly hairless rats the size of dogs.
Right, but
So think of a
are
rat
they
the size of a golden retriever.
commonly... Oof. Are they commonly found with goblins?
Often associated, sometimes used as mounts.
Oh, here, boys!
Okay, so you're going to attempt to handle animal?
Yes.
Okie doke. Are you trained in that one?
That's...
Is that nature?
It's nature now. Or...
I do not have nature. I have survival.
Yeah, it's nature now, I believe.
So, nature, yes. So, that would be, it's part of the command an animal, which we actually have a page number on. Go DM screen, tells you all of the cool things. Tells you what page it's on.
What page?
That's that Paizo certified Pathfinder DM screen, isn't it, Chris? For 2E?
Yeah, it's the horizontal one. The one that gives you the landscape view.
And you can purchase that at your local game store.
We are not actually sponsored, but if you're actually listening, we buy a lot of things from Paizo. Let's see. Do you have to be trained?
She is trained.
Yes. I am trained in nature, but you automatically fail if the animal is hostile or unfriendly to you.
So, but you can still try to do a command as a equivalent of diplomacy.
I mean, you've got an action before your turn, before
Yeah.
everything turns anyway.
So it looks like Steno's action startled them. So give me that nature to effect.
10?
10? They do not seem to be reacting well to you presently. Demos, do you want to do anything?
I'm pulling out my rapier. I'm not
Can I
getting
try
hurt.
again?
So we're going to enter into initiative. So Demos and Steno give me perception, and Taffy give me nature, since that's what you're trying to
16.
perform at.
Oof.
16?
You can't critically fail a skill, right?
Correct.
Okay. 5.
Did we both get 16? Yes. Oh.
It goes off of our wisdom modifier, right? When it comes down to the 2?
Yes.
0.
0.
And then you roll off.
We
I
both...
Yeah, go ahead and roll again.
19.
12.
Alright, so that means Demos will go first. The Goblin Dogs. So these guys, they look kind of like if you reverse the rat and a rat terrier.
It's honestly a little bit cute.
It's like a bald, ratty pit bull.
So the Goblin Dog, so they are, so definitely not true canines. So these 3 blunt-nosed rodents with their thin bodies and long legs look like they feel cornered into the area. One of them is going to move up to Taffy and attempt to bite, and then the other 2 are going to move up to Steno and attempt to bite.
She bites back.
So for the one that is attacking Taffy, what is Taffy's AC again?
13.
13. So a 26 would crit, correct?
Jesus, yes.
So it is going to deal 2d6 plus 3 to you because of its critical. Take 5 damage.
So you rolled 2 ones.
I did.
Could be worse.
I do need you to roll a fortitude save, though.
Of course I roll well on that. That's a 20.
Good. Stano,
Yes.
what is your AC?
18.
So the first one attempts to bite you but misses. But the second one bites you and nearly criticals you. Give me a fortitude save.
You have a button.
I do have a button. I'm gonna turn in that button.
Are you sure?
I rolled a 1.
Okay. Are you sure? Madvik would like it. Madvik likes all of your
Worst
buttons.
case scenario, it's just a poison, and you take a little bit more damage.
Yeah, never mind. Screw you.
So,
I have a 7.
and you rolled a natural 1?
Yes.
So you critically failed it?
Yes.
Wait. Oh, never mind. Give Medvic the button.
Nope, it's
I
been
already did it.
decided. This is what happens when you do not give Madvik his
Fuck your buttons.
So you are now sickened 1, and you are slowed 1. You have caught the goblin pox.
Ooh, that's nasty.
Demos,
Yes.
it is your turn.
Okay, let me make a couple
When
of
does my
quick
initiative
decisions.
happen?
At the very end.
First, I'm going to do shield on myself,
Okay.
because I am
Wait,
smart.
It's not shield self.
It's
Shield is
literally
always shield self.
Shield.
Shield other is the higher spell.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry, I had it flipped.
I'm going to cast guidance on Stheno, and with my last move, take a stab at whatever the closest dog is.
Okay.
I'm assuming they're within my range at the moment.
Yes, it'll take so you used 1 action to cast shield, 1 action to
I'll do the rapier first if I need to.
and you already had your rapier out, so you'll get 1 attack.
Okay. 10.
10 does not hit. Now, Steno, it is your turn.
How many actions do I lose?
So you are slowed 1, so that means that you have 1 less action.
Okay. Is there a dog right there?
There are 2 right in front of you.
Cool. She's going to power attack the one on her right.
All right, roll.
Wait. Whichever one successfully bit her, that's the one she's going to attack.
Understood.
27.
27 crits.
Dang, 17 AC.
1d12, 2d12, 3d12.
Here comes the criticals.
Okay, hang on.
See, this is why we need clearer dice here on Dice Fallen. Everyone dies.
Is that a 9 or a 6? Oh, wait.
Where the numbers make sense.
It's a 9. It's a
9.
9. I'm sorry. I forgot how my own dice worked. So, 20. 29 damage.
Jesus.
So the one comes up and it comes up to you and it bites onto you and its teeth had sunk in and part of it got locked there on your armor, which just made it
Doesn't matter.
absolutely perfect to take your greatsword and just cleave right through the neck and the arm, sending the body against the side of the wall, and just the splatter just Rorschachs itself alongst the side of the wall.
She's gonna take a free action, 'cause she doesn't have any other actions left, to look at the other one and go "Arr!" really loudly, like bare her teeth and growl at it.
I'm assuming that one's dead and she doesn't need guidance to give it more, right?
It is very, very dead.
Okay.
It's been overly Calmonted.
Okay.
Jesus. That's a thing now.
So, Taffy, it's your turn.
Oh, what damage did Stano take from me? Bet you didn't tell me, by the way.
Oh, you took 5 points of damage.
Thank you. You're just like, oh, now you're sickened and slowed. And it's like, oh, so she didn't take any damage?
No, you did take 5 points of damage.
Cool.
Taffy, with your 3 actions, what would you like to do?
Casting magic missile.
At the one in front of you?
The one that bit me.
Yes. Using how many actions? Using people can't see that.
Oh, 3.
So using 3 actions?
Yes. Plus 1 force damage. Oh, yeah, D4. So 6, 7, 8, 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. You have bloodied it as force missiles pound into its side. It is definitely an unhappy chappy. But it is now their turn. The one that Demos attacked will turn and bite at Demos. And what's Demos's AC?
With shield, it's 17.
So it's able to duck in under the shield and bite your leg, dealing to you 1d6 plus 3 points of damage.
But since he cast shield, that means his shield is automatically raised.
If Demos would like to use their reaction to block the damage, they can.
Yes, please.
That blocks
So-
up to 5 points of damage.
Yes, hardness 5.
So 6 points comes through, shattering your shield, and dealing to you 1 point of damage.
Solid.
And that point of damage requires you to make a fortitude save.
11.
11, I believe, fails. 11 fails. You are now sickened 1.
And I can get rid of that by retching, right?
Yes, you will need to take an action to retch. And so remember to take that as a penalty to all your checks and DCs, and you cannot ingest anything until you make another fortitude save on your retch action. It will also attempt to scratch itself. Steno, give me a fortitude save.
Scratch itself?
Yes. It begins furiously scratching at its hind, and these flakes of dead skin begin cascading out in a cloud.
20.
Excellent. You're not extra exposed to more goblin pox.
Gross.
Yeah.
You should go after the one that's attacking Demos. So
I will when it's my turn.
And then the one in front of Taffy will attempt to bite as well. Does a 12 hit?
No.
Excellent. So it misses with its bite, and then it will also begin to vigorously scratch itself. Give me a fortitude.
11.
Fails. You are also sickened. But that does mean that it is now Demos' turn. What would you like to do, Demos?
First, I'm going to retch.
Okie doke.
Because,
Do another fortitude save.
friggin' 7.
Was that a critical failure?
I don't know.
But we
Did
don't
you
know
roll
the
a 1?
save.
No, it was a 3.
So that is technically a critical fail, but not enough to do extra. But you are now sickened 2,
Ugh.
and you can't reduce this below sickened 1 for the rest of the day.
Great. I'm going to use guidance on Taffy, because Sano's now immune, and do Inspire Courage for both of them.
What's Inspire Courage give us?
It gives a plus to status bonus to attack rolls, damage rolls, and saves against fear.
Just +1?
Yeah, +1. And guidance does +1 to status, to attack rolls, perception rolls, saving throws, skill check, your choice. It
So-
does one of them.
Sweet.
Not being able to retch himself, Demos is just like, don't do what I'm doing, not what I'm doing. And that just,
Play Freebird.
and that now means that Steno, you have one more goblin dog in front of you.
Can you guess what she's gonna do?
Is it going to be a power attack?
It's gonna be a power attack.
What's the roll?
Wait, is that the one that's in front of me? Fighting me?
It's the one in front of Demos.
Oh, okay.
20.
20 is a hit. Here it comes.
Only 3 this time. 21 points of damage.
Just takes the end of the blade.
Wait, 22 points of damage.
And just,
Yeah.
you can hear the neck of the goblin dog just crack as it falls.
Great.
That now leaves Taffy. Or a move action, one more action from Steno.
Nope, I'm slowed.
Yep. Oh, make another fortitude save on that.
Oh, good point. This is a d20. 23.
You pass. You are no longer slowed or sickened.
Ho ho! That's Chelish vigor right there.
So vigorous. Toffee.
So I'm gonna cast Ray of Frost on the one in front of me.
Okay.
That's biting me.
Roll.
I'm gonna apply both the courage and the guidance to the spell attack roll.
Okay.
That's 14 plus my int, right?
Inspire
It's your
courage
spell
will
attack
work on
DC.
your
Oh,
damage
spell
as
attack
well.
DC. Okay. So I didn't have to roll?
No, it's a ray. Your spell attack.
Right. Okay, so
It'll work on your damage though.
17. So does 17 hit?
17 does hit.
Okay, so then damage, you said, instead of that.
If you rolled a 14, remember it's plus your proficiency for your spell attack. So it's your proficiency plus your ability modifier. So it should have been like a 21.
Oh,
So 21, does that hit?
It definitely hits.
okay.
I just don't want you like accidentally missing with your rays when you don't have to.
Okay.
I mean, plus, this goblin dog is only taking a little bit of damage. 9, if I remember correctly.
That's a little bit?
It's bloody. It's not happy. You might be able to Ray of Frost kill it. Let's find out.
Roll your damage.
Okay, so, wait, hold on.
I have a spell effect sound for this, I think.
Yes, you do.
Shit, that was tilted. Spellcasting ability modifier, so +4, 5, 6.
+1.
No, that's with the...
Oh, that's with Inspire Courage.
Yeah. Oh, guidance doesn't occur though, right?
A guidance doesn't occur, Inspire Courage does.
Okay, so, sorry, 4, 5... Yeah, it's still 6.
6 points of damage.
Yeah.
It is still up, but it is severely wounded as frost covers its body from the ray kind of going out of there.
I'm gonna use a free action. Finish him!
It's not her turn.
So,
I was to both.
you still have one action left if you want to do anything.
I do not.
Okay.
I'm sickened.
Sickened has to retch. Slowed.
Oh, I do.
So take an action to retch.
No, I'm gonna take an action to shield.
Okay.
And-
Give me another fortitude save.
Oh, God. 19, 24.
Good. So you're no longer affected by your sickened condition.
Nice.
And you have your shield up.
Yep.
It is now its turn. It is going to try to dart through the open door. Steno will get an attack of opportunity.
Oh.
I feel bad because I'm pretty sure these were the goblin's mounts.
What do I add to my? It's just my standard.
It's a standard
attack.
strike.
You still get Inspire Courage, by the way.
Did you just crit the last
26.
one? God damn.
So how do you want to kill this as it runs by you?
Or in the words of Matt Mercer, how do you want to do this?
How many dice? I roll 3 for that.
It is a standard strike, not a power attack strike.
But if you crit, it's...
One.
Yeah.
1d, whatever.
It's 2d12.
Okay.
She is going to hang on. 13 points of damage.
It's very dead.
So she's gonna take it, and as it runs by, she's just gonna come down and chop its head off.
Just whoosh. It tries running, and then its legs keep going. Its head rolls off to the side, and it makes its way out the door. It just falls over to the side afterwards in a pool.
Ha! Just like a chicken.
It was actually very similar to that.
Gross. Oh no.
What? You never chopped a head off a chicken before?
I'm
I
gonna
thought
go...
you were all provincial there in Andorran.
What? Can I go retch again?
You can. You're still sickened 1 for the rest of the day, no matter how much you retch, though. So remember, you'll be doing -1 to your checks and DCs until you have a chance to rest.
Okay.
So as y'all finally begin taking a look around the room, you find that it's a cluttered amalgamation of formal receiving parlor and a ruined, dented, rusted husk. Because you see up on stands suits of outdated, also rusted and dented Hell Knight armor. They line the northern and southern walls, and each one is a display that is either leaning to the side, is fully tipped over, or it's missing helmet, gauntlets, or boots. None of them appear to be full sets from what you can tell. The functioning elements appear to have been looted at some point long ago. There's broken furniture scattered around the area. As you see, there are half-chewed carcasses of several small prey animals. Some squirrels definitely bit the dust. There's a wide array of what appear to be streaks of black carpet, but there's also 2 large doors, one on the northwest and one to the southwest. You see that there's general scuffs on the walls, probably places where there were valuable paintings or framed documents that may have once hung there. You see prominently displayed on each wall a seal that is depicting the sunburst made of nails, and it's carved in a relief, and it's identical to the one above the front doors to this area. And you see towards the ceiling, kind of running the length of each wall, is some sort of motto. And Steno, this time you can see, and actually all of y'all can read in common and infernal: savagery must be quelled in the land, home, and mind.
When this place is redone, you're not redoing it in pastels.
You're not my supervisor.
We shall fight to the death at dawn.
Also, why don't we just share it?
Yes, I know. You will not be redoing this in pastel.
Oh. Okay.
This is her being nice.
You done puking over there?
Trying.
So, Steno, you probably notice this right off the bat. Though there's not enough of any one individual set to make a coordinated Hell Knight armor, you can see that there's enough individual pieces from different types of sets that if you wanted to, you could make a Gunpla version of a Hell Knight armor set.
Oh, but that's so disrespectful to them.
Yes. That's the second thought that comes to your mind.
Yeah.
What would you like to do? You have 2 doors on the opposite side of the wall from the main entry door, but I suppose we'll have to see what's on the other side of those doors next time.
Rude.
So, he went to go speak to the farmers, they say. Tell Medvik, what did those little farmers have to say? We've received seedlings from the Corvosan. He goes to till the fields in Isker. He may even be setting up several scarecrows. There could even be a barn raising there. Who knows? Maybe even a Druman garden path could be cultivated. He did say that there were still fiendish crows, but they hadn't yet descended upon the local crop. He also warned of sinful sisters who have taken up distilling in the south. He told us that their first batches are potent and could even kill with a single sip. We warned him back though. We told the Corvosan to not drink too deep of the spoils of Old Chell. It could always upset one's stomach. But, till next time, may your paths be clear and your kites fly high. Oh, such cute little halflings. So plump, so wonderful, so capable of fear.